Part of the talk that I mentioned yesterday of Ajahn Jeff's of how to fall. He mentions in there sort of like when people take determinations, so like maybe during this rains retreat, some of the monastics may have kind of made a determination to practice more chanting or sitting or restricting time on computers or all sorts of little practices that kind of come up against our normal behavior or desires. And I didn't do anything that was like the long term, but I'm trying to lose some weight, and so I keep kind of motivating myself by saying like every 5 pounds, like after I lose 5 pounds, then I can have one bread breakfast. And then so I'm like going the opposite direction from losing weight right now since I went to Yosemite. So the last 2 mornings we've had the bread breakfast. I've walked in, I've seen my mind actually justifying 5 or 6 times, why I could actually have that piece of toast and why I wouldn't be against that. And so it's quite interesting to see just how the mind works that way. And it's totally fascinating to me. Like before I came into that room, I could care less about bread breakfast, and then as soon as I just grabbed my tea and walked in here, it's like I could completely care less about bread breakfast. And I've noticed that in the past when I've had a determination for not to have desserts. And so it's like, as long as it's potential, as long as it's still in front of me in line, especially when I come right to it, it's like, it's really tempting, and it's like, the desire is there. But even with the determination not to take it, as soon as I walk past it, it's just like, wow, what was all that about? So it's quite interesting to watch desire and see how, just in that present moment, how it just seems so real. But if we practice this way for a while, then you can, even though the mind is sort of telling you it's okay, take it. It's like you just know, it's like this is completely not needed, and then hopefully that gives us the strength later to, in future situations when we've made a determination, or if we just even our precepts, like we know, okay, this is how we're choosing to live. And it gives us strength to be able to follow through with those commitments. One thing Ajahn Jeff said in this talk, How to Fall, was that he said at the time he was writing this, it was probably about 8 or 9 years ago, but the trend happening at Wat Metta was that people were taking all sorts of determinations and making commitments like this of renouncing things. And he was noticing there, just making the comment that oftentimes what will happen is if you make that commitment, like, okay, no bread breakfast, and then as soon as you break that, say, you have a moment of weakness and you actually do have a piece of toast, and the tendency in the mind is like, okay, I broke it, let's just have 5 pieces of toast then. And or I broke it last time, so I'm going to break. That determination is no longer valid. I've already broken it. And said, well, isn't that interesting? It's like so we're committing ourselves to breaking the determination, not to keeping it. And so he said, just redetermine it. It's like okay, that's like that learning how to fall. So it's like, okay, yeah, I've acknowledged that wasn't what I determined to do, but that was the determination at the beginning of the rains retreat, or this current period of time. And so to strengthen it by just recommitting to it. Ajahn Punadhammo used to always kind of talk about determinations too, that you really shouldn't make a determination that you're not going to keep. It's like he always said, keep them simple, keep them ones that you actually know that you will be able to do, and maybe pushing yourself a little bit. But he said if you're making these determinations, like I'm going to sit for 5 hours this afternoon straight without moving, or like these really heroic ones, or even just ones like if you know that you're not going to be able to keep your Naditana, not to have dessert for 3 months. It's like, well, then do it for a week, and just you can do that. And because he said if you start making determinations that you're not going to break, that's actually what you're cultivating. You're actually cultivating the breaking of determinations, not of keeping them. and setting a bad precedent, and setting the momentum in the wrong direction. So it's keeping the practice simple, but pushing ourselves, but doing things in a realistic way. And then if you do that, like say, for 2 months, you just every week you've determined not to have breakfast, and you did it, then okay, then I'll do it for a month and see what happens. Because you have the confidence. And it's like, I did set a goal to not just part of Ponsa, but wanting to get my weight down to a certain weight, and actually fairly close compared to where I was when I started the Ponsa. And I was telling somebody just yesterday, it's like, you can just sort of just refuse to eat, and lose the weight. And I said, I don't know if that's actually a totally skillful way of going about it, because it's like it doesn't really teach you much about sense restraint. It's like it's better to maybe eat every day, but just paying attention to what you're eating, because you can do like a fast and not and lose the weight, but not eating isn't an option for long term. And so it can be good practice to just to watch what happens, to do a fast, or to give up our computer time, or to make a determination to do something skillful. Like, okay, I'm going to determination to sweep the loop trail every day. Go out and do a hour work, or something like that pushes against. We'd rather be in our kuti, but doing something of service. And so we just have to play around. Like sometimes it is really good just to cut things out, but in the long run, moderation, sense restraint. Sense restraint can mean abstinence, but it can also mean just moderation, and taking care of our body and our mind. So I'll leave that for our reflection this morning.